The Supreme Court tonight stepping in just the last couple of hours, pausing the order that requires the Trump administration to bring back a Maryland man is mistakenly sent to El Salvador by midnight tonight. So basically, in bottom line terms, here's what that means. The government doesn't have to send him back. We're talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a legal resident of the United States. He's been in this notorious mega prison in El Salvador for weeks. His lawyer speaking with our Kelly O'Donnell in just the last hour, saying that despite this ruling from the Supreme Court, they still have hope.
We have every confidence that the Supreme Court is going to resolve this matter as fast as possible.
Abrego Garcia is one of hundreds who've been sent to this maximum security mega prison weeks ago. The Trump administration says that they are members of allegedly of the MS-13 gang, including Abrego Garcia. His family denies that. I want to bring in our David Noriega, who's spoken exclusively with another family as well. But David, let me start on this case that the Supreme Court made this decision on late today here, on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This essentially presses pause on this whole thing. So he remains in El Salvador, right? What happens next from here?
So, look, what happens next is whether ultimately there will be a ruling that does try to force the United States government to try and take some action to bring Abrego Garcia back, right? What the Supreme Court did was administratively pause the order doing exactly that from the lower judge while they take a closer look at the case. And it's unclear where exactly that will land. Regardless, there are a lot of open questions around what exactly the United States can or will be willing to do if they face such a court order, because the United States' position in this case is that this person, Abrego Garcia, is no longer in U.S. custody. He's not in the custody of the U.S. government. He is in the custody of the Salvadoran government. And he is, remember, unlike the Venezuelans who were deported to El Salvador, he is a citizen of El Salvador. So he is now in the custody of his own government in his own home country. The government has been saying that they're very limited in what they can do in this case, and they will surely continue to make that argument in court.
Talk to me, too, about somebody else who we've shown, Andre Hernandez Romero, somebody who worked as a makeup artist in Venezuela, no known criminal history. Immigration officials suspected him of belonging to a gang. His family denies that. I know that you spoke with them exclusively here. What's going on in this other case that's getting some attention of somebody believed to be mistakenly deported?
Yeah, Hallie, so he was part of the group of people, of Venezuelans who were deported to the mega prison in El Salvador under the Alien Enemies Act, meaning that there were no court hearings before the deportations. And that means that both his family and his lawyers were completely caught by surprise, and they've had no contact with him since he was there. Now, the evidence that federal authorities gave linking him to Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang, were two tattoos on his wrists of crowns, which they say are emblems of belonging to Tren de Aragua. Now, I've spoken to a lot of experts who say these tattoos do not mean that in fact, this isn't a gang that, generally speaking, uses tattoos of emblems of membership in the gang. But also the family tells me that these specific tattoos have an innocent explanation. Hernandez, who is gay and for most of his life has had a strong interest in makeup, styling, costume design. He grew up in a town that has a long tradition of this sort of elaborate theatrical festival around Three Kings Day, the holiday in January. And he became involved in this when he was a young kid and became even more involved in it as he grew up. And that's how he discovered these passions in theater and in makeup, the career that he would eventually pursue. Those crowns, his family says, represent Three Kings Day and that celebration, that festival. Now, the main thing troubling the family, I spoke to his mother and one of his close childhood friends. The main thing troubling them is that they have had no contact whatsoever with Hernandez for several weeks since March 14th, which is the last time they were able to talk to him on the phone from an immigration detention center here in the United States. I want you to listen to how his mom told me she feels facing this complete lack of information about her son, his well-being, and his current state. Take a listen.
I spend all my time crying, thinking about my son. What are they doing to him? How are they treating him?
Now, all of this is unprecedented legal territory, Hallie. The U.S. has never deported people to a third country, to a prison in a third country that has itself suspended habeas corpus rights. So the lawyers working on these cases truly are facing an unprecedented situation. Hallie?
David Noriega, thank you very much for that breakdown. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.